So guys, to have it, this is Essie. Thanks for being here with me on my YouTube channel, Topical with Essie. So the topic of discuss today is end bad governance in Nigeria. How do we end bad governance in Nigeria? What is the cost of good governance in Nigeria, even in the world? I think this song or this statement is like a rhetoric. It's like a recurring statement in Nigeria into bad governance from the time of our parents. Like some of us who are growing up now, we've heard about it and still imagine that younger ones coming who are still singing same song into bad governance, into corruption, into so many things in Nigeria. And we begin to imagine, why is it so difficult for us to achieve this particular goal? Why is it impossible? Why is it difficult to create equilibrium in the Nigerian society? Even sometimes we say, oh, Nigeria is a blessed country with rich human and natural resources. We just realize that oftentimes the people still struggle with the basic needs or with the basic things of life. And just recently, this has resulted to the people going into the street to protest and say, we cannot take this anymore. The cost of living is too high for us to maintain. Even feeding, which is like the barest minimum, what's the least any government can do for her people is to at least provide the basic physiological needs, food, shelter, like the things, good roads and many things, good healthcare system, the basic things, so that the people are not really asking for too much. If you know an average Nigerian, because over the years we are used to things just being done that way. People are used to the barest minimum, getting the barest minimum, but as it is today, the government is giving them, or the politicians or the people they have voted in power, who are supposed to manage these resources, who are supposed to ensure that these people have a good living. What they give to the people is, if there is anything beyond the barest minimum, that is what the people are getting. And you look at the flip side of it, you realize that these people who are supposed to be servants to the people, who are supposed to serve people, they live very flamboyant luxury life, and their constituents, the people they're supposed to cater for, benefit. Insecurity has crept into every part of the country. End bad governance in Nigeria. How do you end bad governance in Nigeria? Now, I put this question again to us. Who do you think is the major cause, or what are the major cause? Who is the major cause of Nigeria economic instability? Why is there so corruption? Why are there so corrupt practices in Nigeria? Who do we have to blame for the bad governance in Nigeria? The people or the government? That's the politician. People would say, oh, the people are the government. Let's say, who are we blaming? The politicians or the people? Now, this particular subject or this particular question I just asked, I've over time had conversation with my friends about it. Who do we blame for the economic situation of Nigeria? Some will say, oh, we blame the people. Some will say we blame the government. Yes, and then sometimes when we have such discussion or conversation, we realize that sometimes it tends to lean towards this. When people bring their opinion, their suggestion, their facts and figure, you tend to lean towards this side. When other people talk, you tend to leave, meaning there's always a disequilibrium or there's always instability. But in my own opinion, I would always say the government has a lot to play in ensuring economic stability. The government has a lot to play in ensuring the corruption does not keep upholding in a country, especially for a country like Nigeria, where it has been like almost inherent, or where it seems like it's almost inherent in the people. You have to think of ways in ensuring the government has to really stand up to their responsibility. The government has to stand up and say, you know what, it is time for us to put an end to the suffering of our people. It is time. And you now realize that when the government is standing still to say we are putting an end to it, then the people definitely follow in suit. Of course, we've seen some policies that have been amended since the last 1 year, like the subsidy removal and other things. But this has not significantly or in any way helped the economy. This has not in any way helped the people, but still realize that the ripple effect is getting higher. And if I'm getting this very right, I think it's also almost right. The cost of things is almost 100% increase since last year in the last accounting period. which is not sustainable in any economy. No economy grows in such a situation. So again, who is responsible? If you just let me know in the comment section what you think, who is responsible for the instability, the people or the government? Because sometimes when we have conversations like this, people say, oh, the people have aided this over the years and they're still aiding it. Yes, I agree with that, but the microspace can never work fluently, can never work effectively when there is stability in the macro space. The macro space is like a father guiding, is like a father or a big umbrella guiding the people, guiding the family, guiding the institutions, in ensuring that when it is raining, there is a covering. Now, take for instance, we realize that individually, Nigerians are trying on their own. Yes, we have a segment of people doing their thing individually. They're making money at entertainment, creativity, businesses. Individually, people are making money, people are doing their thing. But how sustainable is this for the general masses? If a smaller segment of people are living a luxury life, while the larger proportion is not living, it's not even living to the regular unit of per day. According to the United Nations, it means there is still poverty in the land, and that is where the government needs to step in. The government has to step in. The government, yes, a lot of things, policies are not working in Nigeria. The implementation of these policies are not working because it seems like nothing is really working until you come outside the shores of Nigeria and you live in a place where things work. You begin to imagine what is happening. We are supposedly the giant of Africa. We have the rich human and natural resources. Why are we struggling? What is happening? It is the wrong use of this or lack of use of this that has resulted in poverty. It is what has resulted in constant stagnation and disstability, everything, this. It is what that has resulted into that. And I must assure you that for us to do this, the government has to step up again. The various constituencies has to step up. The government at the federal level has to step up, and down it goes. If the presidency stand up today to say, you know what, we're going to make sure that this works in Nigeria. Trust me, from the presidency to the ministers, the House of Rep members, to the senators, to the government, to the local government, to the councillor, in order of hierarchy from the beginning. If everything starts working from there, trust me, it will get down, and everything, at least to a considerable extent, will be very good. But here it is, if we are saying, oh, the people, we have seen what has happened. And SARS protests, the people came out to say, you know what, enough of this brutality, enough to SARS, because people that are supposed to be protecting us, they are not protecting us, instead they are extorting from us. We have to say no to this. We see how it resulted. That is a typical example that the government, especially in places like Africa, has so much control over what is happening. They have control. The presidency can wake up and say, you know what, these people protesting, send them home. And trust me, the military forces, the police, the regulatory, they would go after the people. They listen to the orders of the presidency. Same way, it is applicable in every other thing. Just look at the protest. Before the protest, a few days before the protest, we started seeing groups, anti-protest group, saying no, there should be no protest. People coming with different regions, coming with different identity, different itineraries. Do not go out on social days. We have a festival. We have this anti-protest or saying no to protest. Come on. In a democratic society, it shouldn't work that way. People are even so scared of their life because they now realize that, do I really want to sacrifice my life? Do I want to be the scapegoat? There's some people who have come to say, you know what? We are here to say a no to this bad governance. Yes, amidst everything, some people still came out to say no. Yes, though it resulted to some people hijacking it, stealing, invading some places. We know what it is what it is. But now back to the question, how do we end bad governance in Nigeria? I still support the motion that the government has to stand still. The politicians have to stand still to say we have to end this. And the people have to follow and suit from the very grassroots level to the highest level to say, you know what, we are no longer accepting the corrupt practices. But because of the way the corruption has gone, the only person you can deny for is the child in the womb. Yeah. That's the only place you can deny for in Nigeria, because you don't even know what is happening next door. So for this reason, end to bad governance starts with the government. They should be deliberate. They should be intentional. They should be know that empowering other countries with the resources of their own country by buying houses there is not going to help the people. Developed nations, they came together, they said, we are going to make our country better. People are running to the United States, people are running to the North America today, other parts of Europe and Asia today, because things, at least, no matter how terrible it is, the basic things are available. And every now and then, you see the effort the government is putting in ensuring that at least people are okay, that at least people eat. In places you would even see some food banks. If you cannot afford food every month, you go there for the less privileged. If you cannot afford food every month, you have to go there to pick up food. What about the road networks? What about the transportation system? What about accommodation? What about job? Minimum wage. Accommodation might be high. They have, for instance, in Canada, they have structured the economy in a way that you cannot be overreached. Everything is regulated. Almost everything. There is price ceiling, there is price flooring, regulations everywhere. Can I shock you? For you to even work as a cleaner, you have to go for training. For you to sell in a bar, you have to go for training. There is dignity in labor in whatever you do. I think there is a need. People always say, oh, there is a need for overhaul of the Nigerian system, which is very correct. But I think at this time, the government really needs to sit down to say, we want to make this country work. After 60-something years, this is the 64th year. October will make it 64. After 64 years of independence, you cannot say, oh, we're still doing this. We're trying to do this. Whereas people are siphoning the money. They are stacking it on the ground. We saw the last time when Naira was about to be changed. People started bringing in bags and loads of money from their houses. That's the one we're saying. What about those that are stacked in other nations of the world? Why is the African mind so greedy? Why is there greed and selfishness in the heart of the African mind? Again, this topic is inexhaustible, so this is the beginning. If you have comment opinions, put them. If you have comment opinions or ideas, put them in the comment section. We're going to talk more about this every now and then. So this is SAD. Thanks for being here with me, and until I come your way again, I remember your topic and Nigeria again. Do have a very, very